Remember a few weeks ago when I told you guys that you couldn't judge my appearance because I felt like I was literally like dying? I feel worse today. So I just got done traveling for over 24 hours and I went across 3 different time zones, and then I came home and took a 2-hour nap because I thought that would make me feel better, and then I showered and ate food, and I feel like everything is upside down and underwater. So we're gonna try to make this brief today so I can edit this and then go back to sleep because that's what I want to do. But I didn't want to skip a week again. This is my review of episode 9 of Produce X101. Probably should have said that sooner. We're gonna be a mess today, but it's fine. I feel like overall, I watched episode 9. I watched it yesterday on my first flight. I downloaded the episode. I watched it on K-Show 123, and I've never downloaded an episode for them before, but I had to finish 2 of my end of the month videos and watch Produce at like the same time, and I was like, I can't do all of this. So I edited the videos and then I downloaded the episode so I could watch it on the plane. It was very good because it was like a 6.5 hour flight, and Produce killed 2 of those hours, and that was nice. So I feel like this episode in general was just very drawn out and very like a lot of things. I feel like we spent too much time on a lot of things in this episode, which I'm gonna talk about later if I remember. But the second elimination was over. That was last week. So now we're back to the original songs round. This is called the concept round. So the benefits for this round were unknown until this episode. So basically the first place of each team gets 500 times their votes, which is crazy. And the first place team is given 200,000 votes, but it's split up between the members. So the first place guy will get 500 times his votes, and then 100,000 votes for being first place in the first place group, and then everyone else in that group gets 20,000 votes, which I still feel like is a lot of votes. Like, this is a big deal. So they have to rearrange the groups now because they're uneven. So we need 6 people per team, and obviously there were some groups that had way more than 6 people, like the You Got It team, the Pretty Girl team, or the Pretty team rather, and there were teams that didn't have like any people left. Like the Monday to Sunday team literally just had Tony left. When Tony was sitting in the practice room by himself, just like, what do I do now? Kang Hyunsu was in the Super Special Girl team, which needed 3 new members, and he was the highest ranked trainee of the 4 trainees in the last 2 groups in the Monday to Sunday group. Tony and the 3 boys still in the Super Special Girl group. He was the highest ranked trainee, so he got priority over who he wanted to add to his group from the trainees that got kicked out of there. Those 2 groups, Tony's group, Monday to Sunday, and also the Super Special Girl group, just kind of were hanging out for a little bit while we did this other part. So the teams that had too many members had to all vote for which members they wanted to keep in the group and which members they wanted to send to the other groups, which members they thought didn't fit the concept or they didn't want to keep for whatever reason. So the people who ended up moving from each group, so Move needed to lose 1 member, and they decided to vote out Shun, which I thought was kind of weird because I really thought Youngjae was gonna get voted out. Not because I don't like him, I just feel like it's such an interesting song for him, and it's not one that I would have chosen for him. I think I would have chosen Super Special Girl for him personally, but you know, whatever. Or the Pretty Girl, maybe, or Pretty team. But yeah, I don't know. I wouldn't have chosen that song for him. So Shun got moved. Pretty Girl needed to lose 4 members. Let's talk about Pretty Girl last, actually. The You Got It team need to lose 3 members. That's the team with the black shirts that has Wooseok in it. I can't remember literally any other person in it. Chajuno's in that group. Sungwoo's in that group. Eunseong's in that group. There's a lot of really popular trainees in that group. That and the Pretty group have like the most popular trainees, I would say. So they lost Ehyup, which I really like him. I think he's a great main vocalist, but Sungwoo is also in that group, and I feel like they couldn't be in the same group. Like, it wouldn't work. Daehyun, who was the only like rapper on the team, not really. He kept saying that, but I was like, Sungwoo is also a rapper, and like literally cannot remember his name today. Johan also rapped in Boss, and he did a decent job. So like, if we need a rapper, like, we have rappers. It's not really, you're not the only rapper. I will say he's probably one of the most experienced rappers on that team, but Sungwoo's a great rapper. So I'm wondering who ends up rapping in that team. I really hope it's Sungwoo. I really hope it is. Daehyun was gone, Ehyup was gone, and Yuvin got voted out. So again, with the main vocal thing, Sungwoo was in that group. I didn't think that Yuvin and Sungwoo were gonna end up being in the same group because like Ehyup, they're all like really good vocalists, and I feel like other boys who stayed in that group, like Johan is a good vocalist, but he's not main vocal material. Chajuno is a good vocalist, he's not main vocal material. So, oh, and then the Pretty Girl team needed to lose 4 members, and that's the team that has all the Starship boys in it. So basically the storyline with that was Kang Mini, who is one of those Starship boys, really wanted to stay in the group, and he was like, I'm getting voted out, and he didn't. So we lost Changwook, Sejin, Donghyun, and Mingyu, which I was super surprised about Mingyu. I didn't really know anything about this episode besides who the ex-boy was going into this episode, because I didn't see many people talking about it. But Mingyu getting kicked out was very surprising, and he was very upset about that. But we will get into that. So the Monday to Sunday team ended up getting Sejin, Dohyun, Changwook, and Mingyu, and Super Special Girl got Shiun, Donghyun, and Yuvin. That's like all of that. So let's talk about the interim evals now, because the rest of this episode, basically, before the ex-boy, was halfway through preparing for the songs with the new members. They went to the Super Special Girl room first when they were trying to figure out their new members, because obviously Hyungsoo had the did I just say Kyungsoo? Hyunsoo had priority over trainees. So he comes in, Yuvin looks at Suhan and is like, please, please, I want to be in this group so bad. Like, please save me. Which I agree. I don't think Yuvin would have done a great job in Monday to Sunday, and I think he knew that too. So he was like, I have to be here. But Suhan, before all of the trainees, before they even knew who had been like kicked out of their groups came in, he was like, I'm fine with anyone, but we can't have Yuvin in this team. I have been with Yuvin since the very beginning. We cannot have Yuvin in this team. And he's right. He is overshadowed by Yuvin literally every round. Every single round he's been overshadowed by Yuvin. So I get it. He finally had the main vocal position because Yuvin wasn't in the group, and then Yuvin walks in and he's like, Suhan, like, let me in this group. Please convince them to let me into this group. Yeah. So he like literally, Yuvin's literally standing on the side, like trying not to cry, like literally about to cry. Suhan is like, what the heck do I do? If I let him into this group, I'm screwed. Like, he's gonna go for the main vocal position. And they eventually do let Yuvin into the group, because I did see that spoiler. I was like, how did Yuvin and Suhan end up in the same group again? Literally again. But yeah, so that's like a joke. So then they do the Yuvin versus Suhan, same thing we've seen for 2 rounds now, where they're both trying to be the main vocal. Yuvin won again. And I like Suhan's vocals more than Yuvin's for this song, I feel like, but I can understand why they think Yuvin is a better vocalist, because he is just generally more stable than Suhan. But Yuvin won again. So sad. And then they did the interim evals in front of all the trainers, and they told Yuvin he was like not trying too hard, but that he sounded ungraceful. And I think it was because he was trying to, they said he was trying to reach a higher note every note that he sang, and that he shouldn't do that. So Yuvin got all upset about that, and he leans over to Gukhyun and he's like, what did I do wrong? Like, it was really funny, because I was like, who is he talking to? And I was like, oh my gosh, he's talking to Gukhyun. It's so funny how close they are. I don't think Mnet shows that enough, but every single time Yuvin is upset, he like goes and talks to Gukhyun, which I think is really cute. The Monday to Sunday team was the team that had all new members except for Tony. The trainers gave Mingyu a lot of praise when he was in his old group, the Pretty group, which I think it's funny that all 4 Starship boys stayed. Like, what do we need that many Starship boys in the same group? Like, I feel like we really don't. Anyways, also would not have put Jungmo in Pretty. I would have probably put him in, I probably would have switched him in Byungchan. That's what I would have done if I was in charge. But I'm not in charge because I'm international fan. So Mingyu was really upset during the interim evals. He didn't really do a great job because he was just frustrated because he got a lot of praise during his Pretty performance, and then he got kicked out of the group. So he was really upset. Why do I keep losing the chances to show what I got? Maybe this isn't for me. Maybe trying hard isn't going to be enough for me. I'm just not good enough for this. Which is fair, because he went down to the 10th place rank last week, which is the lowest he's been this entire season. And I like how he was complaining about it to a bunch of people who were ranked a lot lower than him, and they were like, yeah, okay. They didn't have a lot of stuff to show the trainers, and I think the choreographer for that song was literally in the room. They had 2 special choreographers who are like known for their EXO choreographies, but I think that's one of the songs they choreographed, and he was like, why am I here? Like, you showed me literally nothing, why am I even here? And so I think Sejin was the leader in that group, and he was like, well, you know, we're all like new to this group and we're trying to figure it out, and all the trainers were like, that is like the lamest excuse I've ever heard. So Mingyu got really upset, and then they showed them going to the subway to look at their subway ads. Not really ads, like posts. They have posts all over them. And they showed all of the members of that group reading their messages from fans, which I thought was really cute because they did all get kicked out of their groups and they are all in new groups. And I feel like everyone was feeling very frustrated. So that was really cute to see that. I think that's the first time they've really acknowledged that on Produce, even though I knew they existed because like they're all over Twitter and whatever. Next group they talked about was Move, which I thought You Got It was gonna be my favorite song, but right now I'm feeling like Move is gonna be my favorite song. So there were 3 people going for the main rapper position: Jinhyuk, Seungyeon, and Hyunbin. And Hyunbin ended up getting the part, so he was really excited about that, even though I didn't really like the way he rapped it, but it's okay. You know, whatever. I'm happy he finally got the main rap position because the other 2 have had plenty of chances to show their rap skills, and I feel like Hyunbin hasn't really had that chance to be a main rapper yet in a song that like where he really has some like really interesting parts. He went to go record the song with Chico. He put them in a practice room and he was like, I want to see you perform the song real quick because I have not seen it. Chico was like so nice about the whole thing. Like I don't know what I was expecting. I know that he is a nice guy, but I think I could really see that he is from an entertainment company. He does understand the idol life and he does understand what it's like to lead a team because he is the leader of Block B. So I think that part of him really came out, and I haven't really seen that side of him in a while, so that was nice to see. They started the song and Seungyeon was the center, I believe, and he like scared Chico, and it was like, oh my gosh, so funny. But Chico said they did really well, and they started recording the song, and every other person in the Move team except for Hyunbin has had experience in a recording room before. It's a lot of already debuted trainees. So Hyunbin was the only one who'd never been in a recording studio before, so he was super nervous. The other boys did really, really well. Gukhyun is in this group, and he, like, jokingly, Chico had everybody do the entire song so that he could kind of piece things and change things if he wanted to. So he had everybody do the entire song. Gukhyun was like, I'm going to practice the rap part and try to do the rap part. So Gukhyun got tons of praise. Seungyeon also got tons of praise, and after everyone was done, Hyunbin messed up a lot and he missed his beat a lot, and Chico was like, okay, well, let me hear Seungyeon and Gukhyun do the main rap part one more time. And that's where we left off. The pretty team, I don't know. This is gonna be a dramatic team. I don't know. I'm not feeling confident about them currently. Everyone wanted the center position. First it was everyone except for Kang, and then they decided to do it in the same way that they chose the center position for Pick Me, where they had everybody stand in the center and film videos. So that's how they ended up doing the center position. So after they said that, Kang was like, okay, well, I'm gonna try for center too since everybody else is. It was between Hyungjun and Dongpyo for center. Dongpyo ended up winning, which I was very happy about because I feel like Dongpyo's video was a lot better in my opinion. If I had been there, I would have voted for Dongpyo. I hope he can stay being the center because I really liked the way he looked in the center. Then they were recording, so Minhee was the main vocal. He got to keep his main vocal position, which was super exciting, and that's why I think he was most worried about getting kicked out of the group. But whoever was recording, the person who was their director, was giving me tons of praise, and he was like, oh my gosh, you are like the best main vocal position, like main person for this main vocal position. So that was really exciting. I'm happy to see Minhee doing well because I feel like he is such an underrated trainee, and I've really grown to like him these past couple of episodes. And then the other like storyline in that was Wonjin, who is also one of the Starship Boys, but Wonjin was super sick and he was not able to record his part because he's not just like sick with a cold, he has a damaged vocal cord is what he was saying. And I don't know much about like vocal cord damage or vocal nodule damage, but I guess vocal cord is worse. So I'm a little concerned that they were trying to figure out what to do if he could not sing the song. So I'm a little worried about him getting to perform next week. I guess I probably could look up a spoiler about that, but because they've already performed these songs. Yeah, I thought that was a little like, oh no, what are we gonna do? Wonjin is not doing well, but I think it'll be really hard for Wonjin to rank high in that group if he doesn't have that many parts because of his vocal cord being damaged. That's scary. Oh my gosh, take care of your vocal cords, people. The last team shown was the You Got It team. They had to choose a new center. Woosuk was the temporary center, and then they did a re-evaluation after they got rid of whoever they were going to get rid of. So it was Eunsang and Woosuk again. Boys were all talking about it. Seungwoo, Yohan, and the two Woollim boys, Chajuno and Yoonsung, were talking about it. And Yoonsung was the one who said Eunsang has better like facial expressions, but Woosuk can hit the notes. So Woosuk ended up being the center, which I was like, Eunsang, you intellectual. That is literally what I said last week. I was like, Eunsang cannot be the center of this group. He cannot hit the notes. So it's gonna cause an issue. So I'm happy that Woosuk got to be the center because I know he can hit the notes. Then the dance trainer, I guess, had to change the choreography for 3 groups a little bit. So he changed, this is one of the groups he changed, and he was like, I didn't really make that many big changes here. All right, my phone just overheated, so that's fine. Let's finish this up really quick. So basically, they went to the evaluations thing. They talked about how they had new choreo. Woosuk's having a lot of trouble with it, and their performance was literally a mess. I think Mnet edited it worse than what it was, but I was just kind of sitting there watching it. I was like, Woosuk, literally, like, what the heck? Like, you have been debuted for so long. There were some slight changes in choreography, and you are suddenly, like, all thrown off and all, like, messed up. So that was really weird. That's kind of where they left that off, was the team was a mess. Then they announced the X-Boy. There were 4 potential X-Boys, and Idong called all 4 of them. Math, I don't know. So Taehyun, who's the guy that they always like make jokes that he cannot see anything. So that boy. Moon Hyunbin, I already knew who the X-Boy was before going into the show. That was the only thing I knew about this episode. And I was like, Moon Hyunbin is here. Literally the boy I chose as my X-Boy in my video. And Baekjin was here too. And Donghyun of Ulim Entertainment. It was so sad to watch because I knew who the X-Boy was. I think if I didn't know who the X-Boy was, it still would have been sad. But like, Moon Hyunbin was the boy I chose as my X-Boy because I literally did not think there was any chance that Mnet would bring Donghyun back because he was 31st place. So there was no reason to bring him back. If they had wanted him to stay, they would have just made it 1 through 31. But for whatever reason, Donghyun ends up coming back, he's my favorite Ulim boy, and I was like, what the heck, literally what the heck is happening? Like, I feel like I betrayed him, so, I'm sorry for not including him in my top 11, because I feel so awful right now, but yeah, so I'm so happy he's back though. I don't think there really is much of a chance of him debuting here still. The only reason I chose Moon Hyunbin as my X-Boy instead of Donghyun was because I had just really started liking Moon Hyunbin, and I was really sad about him getting eliminated, and also because I don't really want the Woollim boys to debut here anymore. I really just want them all to get lots of exposure, lots of Mnet exposure, and then debut under Woollim later. And I do think that if it comes down to it and none of the Woollim boys get into this new produce group, I think that Woollim will debut them before the Woollim girls, because they're not going to debut the Woollim girls without Eunbi and Chaewon. So they have to finish out their IZY contracts, and then they'll debut. But I think if the Woollim boys are there under Woollim, they're gonna try to at least do something with them. Maybe like what Golcha did and do like a little digital single sort of thing just to like show them as a team. And I don't think this is the final lineup. I think they'll get 1 or 2 new members before they actually debut. So I'm not really interested in them debuting in produce anymore. I'm just looking for that Mnet fame that Woollim can use to make them very popular after we get everything else I want from Woollim this year. Donghyun won. They showed him coming back in, and all the Woollim boys were so excited, and I like cried when I already had seen the videos on Twitter, but seeing it again on the show, I was like, oh my gosh, like, you, like, Chajuno jumping up and down, like, so freaking cute. They literally love each other so much, and I need them all to debut together. That's why I don't want them to debut in this stupid show anymore. I just want them to debut as the Woollim boys. Anyways, it was really cute. And then they showed that little scene with the 4 of them hugging, and, like, they showed, Jungkook was like, because Yoonsung was the leader of his group, he was like, Yoonsung, you're gonna pick him for your group, right? Because now they had to find a group for him. My other, like, weird thing was, we went to the You Got It team, Usak goes, oh my gosh, Yoonsung, Chajuno, you must be so excited that Donghyun is back. And Yoonsung is like, oh my gosh, yeah, like we didn't know what to do. Chajuno has like the biggest smile on his face. He's like, oh my gosh, like we're so happy he's back. We missed him, like we're really close, like we're from the same company and we've been training together for so long, and we're really good friends. We're so happy he's back on the show. We were not expecting this at all. And then Wooseok goes, oh, like that's great. Do the rest of you feel the same? Like, because they had to choose which team he was going to go to. So each team had to talk amongst themselves, say, are we going to recruit Donghyun? If nobody wanted to recruit him, he was going to randomly pick a song to join. So Wooseok got completely poorly Mnet edited in this, because he seemed like a total jerk, being like, oh, you guys are so excited, but we can't add him to the group. Like, we can't allow him to come into this group. But I understand that, because after seeing, like, Usak is one of my top picks. Donghyun is my favorite boy from Willem. So I'm just, like, stung a little bit watching this. I was like, Usak, can you, like, maybe not do that? But I understand it, because he just got scolded so much by the trainer. They obviously had a lot of work to do with their group. So adding a new member seemed completely unrealistic. And all of the boys were like, we'll share some parts. Everyone wanted to share parts. Wooseok was like, we can't. I was like, first of all, you're not the leader of this group. What are you doing leading this conversation? It's fine. So Yoonsung like sat there and he was very sad. But anyways, I'm not blaming Wooseok for it. I think he was poorly edited by Mnet, and I think he was just very stressed out about completely ruining the choreography. And he was like, the last thing we need is to change choreography again, mess everything up. So the other teams, the Move team, which like Donghyun would not fit in Move. I thought he was gonna go to one of the like brighter concept teams. I did not think he was gonna make it into You Got It either, honestly. Seungyeon was like, yeah, I gave that boy some thought. I was like, what are you saying? It was so funny. It was like the like meanest like rapper like ever like thing. He's like, yeah, I thought about that boy for a second, but we can't add him to the team. And everyone else in that team was like, yeah, he won't fit here. And then Pretty, which was the team Donghyun was in before he got eliminated, they were like, no, we can't add him to this team. So I thought nobody was gonna pick Donghyun, but the Monday to Sunday team had boys from Pretty in it, and Donghyun taught those boys in that group the Pretty choreography. So they were like, he is super good at choreography, he's very diligent, he works very hard. So the Monday to Sunday team decided to pick him, even though Dohyun didn't seem that excited about it, but everyone else seemed excited about it, so they ended up picking him. So that was exciting. I think they're going to be good in that team. I think he fits that concept really well, and also he gets to be in the same group as Jungkook, which is exciting because they're best friends. So anyways, that is all I have to say for this week. I'm excited for next week. I think this was way too drawn out. I think next week we get their performances. Like, that's it. And then the week after we'll get eliminations, because the voting ends the day after next week airs. And I think there's going to be 12 episodes this season, not 11, which is very sad, because I feel like Mnet talked about 11, and now I feel like that's not possible. So I don't know, but I hope they announce like a final like episode count soon, because I feel like it's weird how they haven't said anything about it. That is it for my review of this week's episode of Produce X101. Let me know down in the comment section down below two things. One, which team you think is gonna win, or which team you're most excited for next week for the original songs round, and also how many episodes do you think is going to air this season? Do you think there's going to be 12? I think they could even push 13 if they drag it out enough, but I feel like they already dragged out this round way too much. So yeah, anyways, let me know about those two things in the comment section down below, and I will see you guys very, very soon. Hopefully, I will be more awake next time I film one of these videos. I definitely will be. But anyways, yeah. Bye.